Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. So today, let us start part 2 of MDX queries. And yesterday we had written couple of MDX queries, and this is the syntax of the MDX queries. Now you know what is the member and how to write simple MDX queries on column, on rows. And we had used the weight clause also yesterday, and today let us learn some more things there. So when you go to the MDX queries, we'll have a couple of things that we have to understand. So yesterday we were talking about get sales amount, state wise. So you have to drag and drop this sales amount, and you have to drag and drop the state on the rows, and non-empty keyword or a function is also there, can be used to eliminate the null columns and null rows, whatever you wanted to have. Get the sales amount state wise and only for the year 2013. And what we had done was we had taken the same query, and it is going to give you for Karnataka, Maryland, for each and everything. And here I wanted to take only for 2013. Okay, so this is the data. And let me ask you one more thing. What is that? I wanted to have, say, uh, get the total sales amount for year 2000, say 14. Okay, get the total sales amount for year 2014. So you have to select from the cube name. Okay, I need the sales amount. So go here. So drag and drop sales amount on columns, comma, I need to get year 2015, right? So normally what we do is that we go sale date. So when I'm talking about year is available in sale date and the delivery date. So here I'm talking about sale date here. Okay. So that is the thing. Drag and drop, you have a year. When you expand it within the members, you will be able to get the year, and drag and drop this and on columns. Okay. And when you on rows. When you execute this, it is going to give you for all years. But I need only for 2014. So I need only for this. So when I go to the where clause and I wanted to have, when you expand year, I have 2014. So let me drag and drop this, and I need only for year but only for 2014. And when you execute this query, it is going to give you an error. So it is saying the year number hierarchy already appears in the already access one. So I told you yesterday, what is the thing I have told you yesterday? Anything you cannot have, for example, same dimension or same hierarchy or same column you cannot have here and there. So already you have taken, you have used the same thing, sale date dot year number, and already sale date dot year number is already used. Okay, so when you use the same thing here and there, and when you repeat anything, it is going to give you an error. Either you have to use it here or you have to use it here. So once you have used anything, and this cannot be repetitive. Okay, so this cannot be repetitive anywhere, so it is not going to work for you. So what I have to do, the other way around is that remove this, okay, and remove also this, and drag. Instead of what we were doing initially, we were simply only taking the year number and putting it here, and we are getting all the years data. Okay, straight away what you do, instead of having this, you drag and drop the 2014 directly here, and you need not put the where clause. So sale date dot year number, and when you see M%, it is a member. Okay, it is an individual member. You should be able to get the data. So this is the best way to write. Or if you wanted to write the style which I have used in the previous query, that is also fine. You can say select from the cube name. Okay, select from the cube name, and we need the sales amount on 0. And when you wanted to have the year number in this, so you can have on 1, it is also fine. But only thing is that when you need it for 2014, it is going to give you an error, right? So here what we do is that we take, instead of taking this year, and what I do, I have a year available in this also. When you go here, I have a year available here. So when you go this, the year is also available here. You drag and drop this. Okay. Now here, sorry, you have to drag and drop the year number 2014 from here. When you see this dimension is different, the path is different, and this path is different. So same path you cannot have, and I'm going to have different path here. So this is what you should be able to understand. Now let us understand a couple of things here. When you drag and drop attributes, so for example, I drag, what are the attributes here? So these are attributes and these two are hierarchies. For example, I go to month number and I drag and drop a month number here. So when I drag and drop a month number, I'm going to get sale date dot month number dot month number. What is a sale date? It is a dimension. Okay. And what is the month number? This is what is called attribute or the hierarchy, you can say. Okay. So you can say this is the hierarchy or the attribute name. Column name, you can say. This is column name, right? So column name, or we can say hierarchy name, or we can say anything, attribute name, hierarchy name, something like this. And you can say this is the level in which you're supposed to get the data. What kind of a data you're getting here? So you're going to the table, and from this table, this is the attribute, and this is the level of the data you're going to get. For example, I go to the dim location table. So when I go to the dim location table and drag and drop a state, okay, now let us understand what is the first one. Dim location is a dimension. Yesterday we were talking about, right? So what is this? And what is the state? State is the attribute, or you can say hierarchy, whatever you wanted to say. It is an attribute name, column name, you can say simply. It is a column name, or also it can say hierarchy from where the data is coming. Or you can also say this is what is known as an attribute. So whatever you wanted to say, that is fine. Okay. Column name, hierarchy name, or attribute name, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you wanted to have, you can have. The last one is that it is getting the which level data. You're getting all the state level data. So different states you're going to get. Okay. So when you drag and drop attributes, you will have a dimension or the hierarchy, and the last one is level. Okay. And now if you leave this and put together these two, when you put together these two is called hierarchy or the complete path. Okay. Now let me drag and drop hierarchy here. So what is the hierarchy I'm talking about? And these are columns, 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, and this is the hierarchy. When you take same state from the hierarchy, let me drag and drop the hierarchy here. Now tell me, what is this? The first one is known as the dimension. Okay. The second one is name of the hierarchy. So this is the name of the hierarchy. And here the name of the column, but here you're going to get the name of the hierarchy. Okay. Hierarchy. The last one is level of the data you're going to get. What level data from this hierarchy you're going to get? So the level of the data, I'm going to get state. The level of the data, I'm going to get this. Okay, let me drag and drop one more hierarchy. Now you have drag and drop state, right? Let me drag and drop city. Now here also, you should be able to get the dimension and you should be able to get the hierarchy name. Okay, then what level of data you're getting here? You're getting city data. So the same thing here, when you drag and drop the hierarchy or when you drag and drop the attribute, you have to understand what is the dimension, what is the middle. The middle portion is called always hierarchy, and the last portion is always called which level data you're getting. So what you're looking, dim location is the table name, this is the dimension name, and this is the hierarchy name, and what level data you're getting, the state level data. Here also it is a dimension, it is a, then you got hierarchy, and the middle one is hierarchy, and here the last one is level, which level data you're able to get. So always you have to understand, when you drag and drop hierarchy, what is going to happen. When you drag and drop this one, what is going to happen, you must be clear. Now when you drag and drop a country, see here. So country, I'm getting from the hierarchy. Now the see the thing, this is the level. Leave the level, and this is what is the path from where you should be able to get the country. Now let me drag and drop a state also. When you drag and drop state, now here the this is the path you have to understand, and this is the hierarchy, complete hierarchy, and this is the level. When you drag and drop any element here, when you drag and drop any element here, country, state, city, these are the hierarchies. So hierarchy, when you drag and drop, you will have the different, you will have the various, we will have different levels you will be having, but in the path is always the same. So try to understand, you will not be able to get the different path. But now let me drag and drop attributes. So let me drag and drop, country. So you have to go here, drag and drop country. Now you see dim location dot country dot country. Now come. So these are, I'm dragging attributes. So let us understand some more things here. Why we are understanding slowly, you would come to know. Okay. So now drag and drop country, that is fine. And the drag and drop state, we have to go here and drag and drop state. And now see, the level is fine. This is also not the same. So now when you see here, this is the same thing. And this is also same thing, because country, state, city, all of them are coming from the same path, same hierarchy, because here also same hierarchy. But when you use the attributes, you will have, this will be, not the same as previous, because you will have country here. And now it is also not same, because this is known as a hierarchy, or this is known as the path, whatever you call. So this is different and this is different. When you drag and drop city, so when you go here and when you drag and drop city, and you will have different path. Okay, this is the level, and the remaining portion is called path or hierarchy. So when you dragging and dropping and hierarchies, you will have same kind of a path. Okay, the path is means from here to here, we are talking about a path, or it is a hierarchy. So always you're going to have the same hierarchy, but end of the day, sorry, you're going to have the same hierarchy here also. But when you use attributes, you're not going to get the same hierarchy or the same path, and it is going to be different here and there. Okay, now when you see this example which I've quoted earlier, now when you write, I wanted to have sale date, year number, blah, blah, blah. When I use same hierarchy, so sale date dot year number. So when you execute this query, it is going to give you same thing here. But my requirement is that get the total sales amount for, year 2014. And I go to the attributes. So where is the attribute? I went here. There is an attribute, and when I go here and drag and drop the year number, sorry, when I drag and drop year number, let us understand. You leave the last element. This is the last element in this. And this is what is called a path or hierarchy. So same path, same hierarchy cannot be repetitive. Try to understand. The same path or same hierarchy cannot be repetitive. So if it is repeated either in rows or in columns or in where clause, anywhere if it is repetitive, and this query is definitely invalid query. Try to understand. So this query is invalid because of the same path or the same hierarchy or same whatever you wanted to call. So what is this? Leave the level, and these two are called path or the level. So this is cannot be repetitive. So when you repeat it either in 0 or in 1 or in where clause, anywhere you have to use only once. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about. This cannot be repetitive. Already it is there, it is repetitive here. So any hierarchy, same hierarchy cannot be used more than once. This is the rule number one. Okay, because of this, this is an invalid query. But how can we make it valid query? So very simple. You have to take the same thing, and I have to use the different hierarchy here. So if I wanted to get 2014, I should be able to get from attributes, and I can also get the same thing from here also, right? I have the hierarchy also, I have 2014, and you drag and drop this. Sorry, when you drag and drop this, now see, this is the path, it is different, and this is the path, this is different. Okay, now when you execute this, it is going to give you the data. So here I had used the attribute, here I had used the hierarchy. So these are different. So leave the last levels, and the first two, this is what is called the path, and the path should not be the same. If it is same, the above query is not going to work. So in this case, now you can understand the why we can have the hierarchies and why we can have attributes. Sometimes when you have a hierarchy, you will be able to write like these queries. Or the other way is that, the other way, simple query you can use is that simply without having these paints, okay, you need the year number 2014, right? Straight away, either from year number, you go to the year number, and you should be able to drag straight away year number. This is also fine, but here I have used attribute. Okay, attribute means I am taking this and members and year number, I am taking the attribute. So instead of using an attribute, I can also use the hierarchy. So hierarchy also can be used because same 2014 is available here and there. So let me take this, and instead of getting 2014 from the attribute means this. Okay, I go to the hierarchy. I have two hierarchies. So any hierarchy you can use. I have a year number here as well, and when you expand it, I get 2014 and drag and drop. Okay, this is also fine. So here, sale date called year hierarchy dot year number dot 2014. This is also is going to give you 2014 sales. Same 551364. So let us understand when you're using attribute 551364. So only thing is that what from where I'm able to drag and drop something. Are you able to understand? When you drag and drop something, you're able to get something. When you drag and drop something from here, you're able to get the same thing. But only thing is the path is different. Now, when I go here, and always I'm saying that you go to the year number, and when you go to the year number, and never directly get this year number. That's what I'm saying. Or if I say I go to the dim location here. So never directly drag and drop this country. So when you drag and drop this country, what is going to happen? Select from cube name. Okay. And you straight away go to the attribute. These three are attributes. These four are attributes. Directly drag and drop country there. So sorry. Let me take this query and come down. Okay. When I go here and drag and drop country from here, let me say on columns. Okay. So what is that you're going to get here? You're going to get the all members because I told you every element will have a default that is called all member. So when you go to the dim location, so when you go to the dim location and when you go to the browser, and now we are talking about country, right? So when you take the country here, and what is the default member? Default member is the all, and you have India and USA. Why we are having default members everywhere? Let us understand. So all is this, and we have different states. Why we have to get the all? Because when we're talking about, say, India is the sales is say 100 rupees and the US sales is let us say 200 bucks. Now normally you get the grand total. Grand total is this and this, right? So grand total is 300. Now what is going to happen? This 300 will be available in this. Now when you understand all is going to give you grand totals always. Try to understand why all member is required. All member is required to get the individual totals. You can drag and drop the members. These are the members. And by default, you will have a all. All means, all the individual items put together, aggregated, and the total is going to be stored. So when you say all member is default, then you can have different states. So you may have Dallas and things like that. So whatever the states you have, the individual members are going to come here. The total is going to be always with the all. So when you straight away going to get country, always you get the total sales for this. Okay, if anybody needs grand total of all countries. Okay, if anybody needs grand total of all countries, the better you drag and drop this. If anybody needs, not the grand total, it is individual countries. Okay, I need country wise. I need country wise, sales amount. Country wise sales amount. So what is going to happen is that it is going to take country wise means I'm talking about individual element. You should not drag and drop only the country here. So you have to go to the country and expand it. You have to drag and drop this country. When you drag and drop this country, we're talking about members. Members means individual elements you're going to get. So try to understand the difference between the upper one and the below one. So you have India sales and US sales. Okay, now you may get a question, and we did not get any measure. We did not also have any measure, but how come you're able to see the numbers here? So when you simply drag and drop some location, some dimension here, when you don't give any kind of a measure, automatically it is going to take one default measure. So try to understand. Okay, so always it's going to take a default to measure, and the default measure will be see. So when you drag and drop something, when you go here, it's going to give you. So when you go to this one, these are I'm in the project now. I double click on the cube. I came to this, and these are the different measures I have. These are the different dimensions I have. So when you go right click on this and go to the properties, let us understand what is the default measure. Default measure is a sales amount. Okay, so when you have a default measure here, so always if you don't mention anything, always this will be coming. For example, I change it to quantity sold. Okay, so I change it to quantity sold, only have changed some configurations. Now save this, and you need not process the cube. Simply you go Processing means aggregating the data. I need not aggregate any data because only the schema changes. Some changes of configuration level happened. Only build and deploy. Building means syntactically, are there any errors? No errors. Now you simply go here, right click on this, you should be able to deploy. No need of processing. Try to understand. If something is not happening, then we'll do. Otherwise, processing is not required. So the deployment is successful and only the code changes not required. Processing is not required for the code change. It is a code change, not the data change. Now when I go here and now I was getting these kind of elements. I did not put any measure. Let me execute the same query now. Now see the numbers have been changed. What are these numbers? 13424, 6311. These are the quantities sold for different India. So are you getting? So these numbers have been, changed because of the default member is now default measure is when you go here and go to the properties, you should be able to get like this. Clear? So always when you go, you should be able to get one default measure. You have to configure these measures. But now you may get a question. What is the question you may get? Okay. If I'm always getting sales amount and fact sales count, what kind of aggregations it is doing? Because we have in SQL Server a lot more aggregate functions. You can have sum, you can have average, you can have a max, you can have a min, you can have a count, right? So, for example, I wanted to know country-wise maximum sales amount. I know I don't need the total sales amount. Okay. I'm talking about country-wise maximum sales amount I wanted to have. So in this country, what is the maximum sales amount? In that country, what is the maximum sales amount? In this, in this state, what is the sales amount? Like that, if you wanted to have different measures, so this measure is not there because we had taken only one measure, that is the sum. Now, when you go to this sales amount, when you go to the properties here, and when you go, you should be able to see what kind of aggregate function it is doing. So let me take this. And these are the different aggregate functions we have. Sum, count, min, max, distinct, none, by count, average of children, first child, last child. Lots of things are there. So by default, it is doing only the sum operation. But tomorrow I wanted to have average sales amount. How do I get it? So you can create a new measure. So right click and you should be able to create a new measure and you should be able to, have one more measure. This is one way to do it. For example, I wanted to get the max sales amount. This is the total sales amount, right? And when you go here, what is the quantity sold? What kind of an aggregation it is doing? So right click and go to the properties, and it is also performing a sum operation. So these are the things you must understand. What is that internal it is doing? What kind of an option it is doing? So I wanted to, this is the total sales amount, and this is the quantity, total quantity sold. But I wanted to get average quantity sold. What is the average level quantity sold? If you wanted to get like this, you should be able to, or max or min, minimum quantity sold, maximum quantity sold. If you wanted to get like that, you can have a measure directly here itself. Okay. Or if you wanted to perform any other things, you should be able to go to properties, and what is the default measure you should be able to understand. Okay. Now, let me create one more maximum sales amount I need. So go here, new measure, and I have taken this, and what operation you wanted to use maximum of sales amount, and click on OK. Okay. So now right click and say rename. It is not a maximum max sales amount. That is fine. So it simply say max sales amount. And when you go here, when you go to the property, the aggregate function, it is maximum sales amount. Okay, like that you can also have one more measure, minimum sales amount also you wanted to have, minimum you wanted to type. So right click new measure and take the sales amount, and here you can have a minimum, and click on, if you say click on show all columns, remaining key columns all it will show. I don't want to have the key columns there. Okay, simply click on this. This is minimum quantity sold, like something like that. You can have different things. If you wanted to delete, you can delete something. Okay, so you can also have some more measures on the fly if you wanted to perform this kind of aggregations when you can save simply and you did not change any data here. So only right click and build or rebuild. Build is succeeded and never go for the processing. Processing means aggregations. When you have a new data or modifications in the data, then you do the processing and never do the processing. Only deployment is sufficient because it is a code change. When there is a code change, simply deploy the cube and it is done. So now you should be able to go here and you will be able to get different things there. Okay, now let me refresh. We have refresh. So let me have something refresh here. So you should be able to just let us reconnect once and you should be able to get these things done. So whenever you go and do some kind of a changes at the database level, at this product level, processing is not at all required. So just me go here. I wanted to create a new query. So this is where I should be able to get these different things. Clear? So this is the total sales amount you can have, and these are the maximum sales amount. Then this is the minimum sales amount. For example, I wanted to have select, from the cube name, and I wanted to have max sales amount for all cities or all states I'm talking about. So when I use this maximum sales amount, you have to drag and drop this, okay, on columns. And if somebody asks you what is the minimum sales amount, maximum sales amount for, a location called, what is that we're talking about? All states. So go here and drag and drop the state here. So are this clear on the rows? Now, when you execute this, it is going to give you the maximum sales amount. Karnataka, the maximum sales is this and this. And I wanted to have one more thing. If I wanted to have, the total sales amount. So simply you have to take this and here the total sales amount is this. And when you execute this, and you can have different things all together. So Karnataka, and because it is aggregated the same data, it is not going to give you any data because same data is you're going to get. But when you have different changes for different years altogether, you may get different things in the different states because fortunately, unfortunately, we have only one value. That is the total value and that is because it is aggregated data, right? Only one value you have. We have aggregated data. That is the maximum value because that is aggregated data, only one value we had. Okay, but when you have a different value, it is going to give you different value. So sometimes, we can use, I'll give you one more example so that you can understand. But when you wanted to have, minimum count, maximum count, or minimum, average price. So like that, when you have more than one value, and you should be able to do this kind of max and min, different options, you should be able to do it here and there. So this is how, if you wanted to configure something, you should be able to create new things and get. And these are the not original, measures coming from the data warehouse we had created on our own using here. Or you can also create your own measures with the help of some kind of a formulas and using calculations. And we'll also discuss the calculations. Calculations means I would like to have, for example, one measure into another measure. For example, I have a measure called profit here, or I have to get a profit. Profit, how do you get it? The sold price. Okay, sold price 100 and the actual the purchase price 80. So 100 minus 80 equals to 20. 20 is the profit for you. For example, you got one bottle for 100 bucks and you sold the bottle for 100 bucks and you bought or you purchased that bottle for 80 bucks and the profit is 20 bucks. How do you get the profit? with the using two dimensions or two measures, then that is where you should be able to perform the calculations. Okay, so calculations also some kind of a writing some kind of a formula. Okay, and say total revenue minus tax equals to profit, or total revenue minus something else equals to something else. Like that, you should be able to write some kind of a calculations. All these calculations going to work on the the measures, or sometimes going to use dimensions and measures. So this is how we have to understand. Clear? Now, today, let us understand one more interesting topic, that is what is a set and what is a tuple. Okay, now I'm going to open a paint now. So I have a room, okay, and this room has, let us take door number 1 and door number 2. I have a door number 1 this side, I have a door number 2 this side. I can have door number 3, door number 4. I can have many things there. Okay, so why we have to use set and tuple also we have to understand. This is door number 1 and this is door number 2, and the room number is, this is a room number 1. Okay, now I had kept some fruits here. I had kept some fruits here in this plate. I have two plates. So in this I put some, say, banana. I have some fruits in this plate, and I put some, say, mango. I put some fruits there. Now, I asked somebody go to room number 1 and get the fruits. Okay, so what is that they're going to do? They're going to go to room number 1 dot. They may use door number 1 dot. They may say get mangoes. Okay, they're able to get mangoes. Sorry. They're able to get mangoes. Now, room number 1 dot door number 1 dot mango. So you can approach this way, or you should be able to get room number 1 dot door number 1. I need the banana. So they're using like this. This is also fine. Okay, this is one way. Or they may say, let me take the different path altogether. So whether you take door number 1 or whether you take door number 2 doesn't matter. You will get the same banana, because banana and mango are there available, but only paths are different. Okay, now the mango you're able to get from the same room, banana also you should be able to get the same room, but here the path is different. So we are using different path here, and here also we are using different path. Okay, when the path is different, this is what is called a tuple. Okay, tuple always should have, remember, when you have a tuple means what? You have a different paths. Always you have to start using this kind of a braces, and at the end you have to use this kind of a braces, and here you have to put comma. So if somebody asks you what is a tuple means different hierarchy, different path. Leave the last level. This is the level. Mango, banana are the levels. So this is the dimension dot hierarchy dot level. This is the dimension dot hierarchy dot level. I'm talking about room number 1 dot door number 1 does not equals to room number 1 dot door number 2, but you get the same data. Try to understand when the path is different. Path is means what? This is what is known as a path from this to this, and this is different, and this is also different. Okay, this is what is known as a hierarchy, or this is what is known as a path. When the hierarchy is not similar, this is what is known as a tuple. So let us understand what is a tuple. Members from different hierarchy is called as a tuple. You have to use this kind of braces to represent the tuple. Clear? Now, what is a set? Members from same hierarchy is called as a set. For example, let me give you one more example. I wanted to get uh, some fruits. Room number 1, say door number 1, I get mango. And same path I'm using. Room number 1, door number 1, I get, banana also. Now, when I do like this, I'm able to get mango and banana. Here also, I'm able to get mango and banana. But when you see, this path is the same. This path is the same. When the path is the same, hierarchy is the same, and these are known as a set. A set always should have this kind of a braces, and at the each level, each member should be, separated with the comma, and you should have this kind of a braces, and this is what is called set. Okay, and what is a set? Set means you have to have the same kind of a path, same kind of a hierarchy. So what is the hierarchy here? Room number one dot door number one, room number one dot door number two. So here we have only two doors, but tomorrow you may have a door number three also. You may have anything. So you may have one more thing also available here. So you may have two or you may have three. Room number one dot door number one and room number one dot door number one, and you can have room number one dot door number one here, room number one, door number two, door number three. You can have multiple elements here. So you can have, if the path is the same set, if the path is different, it is a tuple. Are you clear? So why we are understanding tuple and set? Let us understand. Always you are able to, you're able to put the data in only x-axis and y-axis. So I go here and I'm able to put data only in the x-axis and y-axis. I'm not able to put in z-axis also. If you use z-axis, it is going to give you the issues. For example, let me give you one query. Now I need year-wise, year-wise, then say country-wise, country-wise. Now I'm talking about sales amount. Year-wise, country-wise sales amount I wanted to get. Let me drag and drop, select from the cube name. When you drag and drop a cube name here, so sales amount find on columns. Okay, fine. Then let us talk about I need year-wise. So when you go to the, either you can go for the sale date year number from here, or you may take the hierarchy, you can get the year number. So year-wise, so drag and drop the year. And when you go here on rows, okay, so you can say this is a 0 and this is a 1. Okay, as of now it is working fine, there is no issue. And if you think that I wanted to have, what is the third one? Year end sales is over country wise. You go here, let me drag and drop country, and the country is available here. Now drag and drop the country here. So where will you keep this country? The country I have to keep on, can I put it to? 2 means z-axis. This is, x-axis and y-axis and z-axis. Can I put like this? Let us understand whether it's going to support or not. So result cannot be displayed for cells with more than 2 axes. Now MDX is going to support only 2 axes. So it is only X and Y. So the third axis is also not, it is not able to, show the data. Now you have 0, you have 1, you have 2. 2 means pages. Now when I'm putting one more thing here, it is clearly telling MDX is going to support only 2 axes, and that is 0 and 1. You cannot have one more axis here, but how do I do this? So it is giving you completely syntax wise perfect, but it is not going to work in this. Now definitely I cannot adjust this. So what should I do? So end of the day, all the columns you have to put it either in this or you have to put like this. For example, you have only two hands. So you can, take one coconut with one hand. You can have one laptop with another hand. But when you have the more than 3 items, more than 4 items, you have only two hands. One is x-axis and one is y-axis. End of the day, you have to take hand number 1 and hand number 2. So what we do? We buy a bag. What is the bag we're talking about? The bag name is a set. One more bag name is tuple. Set means what? Same kind of items we're going to put in the set bag. And a tuple bag means different items. Try to understand. If you have, for example, you have apple, banana, everything, same kind of item. Put it in one bag and you carry that bag. That bag is known as a now set. And you have one more bag called tuple where different paths are available. So why are we doing this? You have to understand, because end of the day, if you have 1,000 items also, you have to use those 1,000 items in x-axis and y-axis, because x-axis is your right hand, y-axis is your left hand. So end of the day, the human being can carry with two hands. But how do you carry 1,000 items? So what you do is that those 1,000 items, you can see, keep some 600 items in one bag and remaining 400 items in another bag, and those two bags you have to carry. But how do you create a in a group or bags? With the help of the set and tuple. So try to understand. So set means same kind of a or same kind of an items put together, same paths are there. Tuple means you will have different paths. So you have to put all of them in single thing and you should be able to get it. So the measure is fine. So now what I'm trying to do, I have to drag and drop country. So let me drag and drop country. Now already you have filled one axis. You have only other axis. This is what is called, columns. This is full now. And one hand is full, the second as is empty. So this is what is the rows. And now these are having different hierarchy means this is the hierarchy. So leave the level, this is the level, leave the level, and this portion is called hierarchy, and this is different than this. When both of them are different and these are known as a set always should have this kind of a braces and put comma here at the end. You can put something, close the bracket, and you have to put rows. That's it. So now this is what is called a tuple. Okay. So I should be able to get year wise, then country wise, and sales amount. And like that, you should be able to get. So 2012 India, this is a sales. 2012 US, you have this. 2013 India, you will have. So here I have taken these two are attributes. Okay. Now I have written the query with the help of these attributes. Okay. Now can I write the same query with the help of hierarchies also? Why not? So let me take this control C and come down, and I am able to get the same requirements. Here I am able to use hierarchy. So can I use hierarchy also? You should be able to use the hierarchy, but hierarchy doesn't make any sense here. But I'll give you one more example. Okay, so here also you should be able to get the hierarchy from these numbers. Okay, so if you wanted to use a hierarchy, you can also use, but it doesn't make any sense. I'll give you one more thing to understand the better way what I'm trying to explain in this. So when you remove this, so instead of this, let me go to the hierarchy country. I should be able to get from the hierarchy here. Okay, you drag and drop the hierarchy here. So you should be able to get the country, and you should be able to get the year number, right? So we have year wise. So where is the year available? When you go to the sale date, you have year number as an attribute, and year number we should be able to get from this also. So year number from the hierarchy. This is also fine. Whether you use attribute or hierarchy doesn't matter, but this is something different and this is something different. They are not matching. Hence you have put a tuple, and when you see this data, now this is how it is going to show you, because when you put this later, you will get the year first. Okay, and you will get this later. This is also fine, but here I have used hierarchy. Whether you have used hierarchy, whether you have used an attribute doesn't matter, but end of the day you are going to get same kind of results. So this is what is a set. Okay, tuple, sorry. Now let me ask you one more question. I wanted to get year wise, okay, month wise, sales amount, okay, and sales quantity. Year wise, month wise, sales amount, total four. One is this, second is this, third one is this, fourth one is this. Totally we have four columns. So two columns in x-axis and two columns in y-axis, or you can have three columns in x-axis and one column in y-axis. Anything is fine. So however you wanted to have, you can do that. So select from the cube name and you should be able to go to the cube. Okay, and this is going to give you a junk value, I told it, but what measure it is going to give you, you know that whatever is the default measure. So how do you know which is the default measure? When you go here, so right click and properties, the default measure is a sales amount. This is what is going to be giving. So when you don't mention anything here, it is simply going to give you this, or some people will write like this. Okay, so can I execute like this? Let us see whether it's going to work or not. It is not going to work, but it is not going to give you, it is a null column. Okay, if you wanted to represent some null value, simply put like this and you should be able to get. This is also fine, but when you take this and if you don't mention anything, and always it is going to give you one aggregation, but where is this aggregation? Is it this, is it this, is it this, what? So whatever is the default you have chosen here, the default is always is we had chosen. Go here, right click on this properties, you are able to get. So whatever be the thing you are choosing, only that value is going to be showing there. Clear, guys? So try to understand. So this is a null value. I don't want to show you anything in this measure because it's blank. So this is also fine. Now, what is that? Year wise, right? So we're talking about year wise, month wise sales. Now let me next select from the cube name. Okay. I wanted to have, say, let us sales amount, comma, and I wanted to have sales quantity. Where is sales quantity? Quantity sold we're talking about. Okay. Now let us have these put. This is the level and this is also level, and leave the level. Remaining is a path. So this path is the same and this path is also same, and these two are will become a set. Okay, because we have only two things here. So we have, this is the path or the hierarchy, and this is what is the level of the data you're going to get, and this is on columns. Okay, now after that you have to put comma here. Many people forget commas here, many people forget commas here, so they'll get errors. Then you have to fill a row. What is the row? We have to have year wise, month wise, right? So I'm going to use attributes here. Okay, so I am going to get year. Where is the year? So these are the attributes. So let me go here. This is the attribute year wise. Okay, and comma month wise. Where is the month here? So when you come down, you have a month number or month name, whatever you wanted to have. Month number when you go here, and sorry, this is the hierarchy, right? So where is the month number? Month number is here. So when you have this, these are different months. So month number. Okay, and this is what is the different hierarchy, and this is what is a different hierarchy. This will be a tuple for you. So I'm going to have a tuple on rows. Okay, so columns and rows are done. So you're going to get the data here cleanly. Now let us execute this. Now you're able to get, this is year wise, month wise, sales amount and sales quantity. So here I have used attributes. What is the attributes I'm talking about? Sale date. This is attribute name, and this is the column name, year number. This is the column name. I have dragged and drop attributes. But the same query I'm going to write with the help of hierarchies. Okay. So hierarchy I'm going to use. So here, because hierarchy is not for the measures, try to understand. Hierarchy we cannot create for measures, only for the dimension. So we are talking about what? Year wise, month wise. When you go to the sale date, we have a hierarchy called year hierarchy. We have year wise, and let me drag and drop year wise. Where is the year? Year wise, and put comma, then below you have to put month wise, month number wise. When you drag and drop month number, this is fine. So now these are the same. So sale date dot year hierarchy dot year number, sale date dot year hierarchy. So these are same. Now here you have to put a set, because if everything is same, you have to put set here, and here you have to put comma, and here you have to put like this. Now let me execute. This is the first query. You will have year wise separately, month wise separately, you are able to get. So when you wanted to eliminate a null value, what we can do, we can put non-empty. But now let me execute this query. And here I'm not using attributes. I'm simply using hierarchies. Okay, this is my query. Have you seen? So measures dot sales amount, measures dot quantity sold. These are a set. And here I'm going to take one more thing. Sale date got hierarchy and sale date got, hierarchy month number. Let me execute this. When you execute this, you will be able to get one more data. But here it is completely different. The year and the month, both of them, it is giving on you the single column only. Now, this is where you will get confused, because I know that the seventh number is there. This seventh month belong to which year? 2016, 15. So no clue at all. So I have number 10 month, number 11 month, number 1 month. You don't have any clue where this month belongs to, which year it belongs to. So you will have lots of data, but this data is useless to the customers. When you use hierarchy, sometimes you will not be able to achieve proper things. So I wanted to have, year number and the month number on the same column. Then you have to use the hierarchy. If you need on the different columns, then use the attributes only. So when you take the first one, and here I have used attributes. When you execute this query, and you should be able to get year number in one column and month number is one column. 2012 October month, 2012, like this you should be able to get. Okay. Instead of a month number, you can also go in for the month name. So what is the month name? We have attributes we have to take. So what is the month name? We have English month name. You can drag and drop the month name here. Oh, sorry. So month name, we have to drag and drop, not month number. Where is that? English month name. Drag and drop this. Where is this going? Sorry. Always it will have the issue. So instead of this, we have to put the month name. So when you execute, instead of getting this, you should be able to get. So 2012 August, 2013 December, 2012 July, it is very clear. But when you drag and drop something from the hierarchy is going to give you everything on a single column. Sometimes these kind of things you will not be able to get. What is that? Year number, month number on the single column only you should be able to get, but not on the different columns. So when you use hierarchy, sometimes it is good, sometimes it is bad. Okay, so did you understand what is a hierarchy, what is a tuple, what is a set, and what is a member, and why we are using set and tuples here? So here I had used only two columns. Can I use one more column also? For example, I need year wise, month wise, country wise, like that. You should be able to get any kind of a data here. And you can have two things, or you may have more than two also. You can have one more column also, you can drag and drop. So here also you can have only two, or you can have three also. You can have four also. Only thing is that same path set, different path tuple. Why are we creating a set and tuple? Because end of the day, all the data has to be adjusted in rows and columns only. So if somebody asks, this is one group, this is one bag, you can say, and this is also one more group. So set and tuples are nothing but your groups or your bags, and end of the day, all the data you have to carry within x-axis and y-axis. So this is how you should be able to get. If you need, I need year-wise this. For year, say for country, say US, you have to drag and drop a country here, and you will get the sales only for that country. So where clause is a slicing and dicing. So slicing of the data, dicing of the data, you should be able to do. Clear, guys? Okay. Any questions? ठीक है. Well, Do you have any questions to ask, guys?